This is Good Morning Texas.
We begin with a case that's in the national spotlight, attracting a lot of attention and involving a lot of money. The rise and fall of former Theranos CEO Elizabeth Holmes. Good morning, I'm Joey Horta.
And I'm Sharday LeRae. Well, Holmes was convicted of fraud last year. And the next chapter of her journey begins today in Bryan. And that's where we find 25 News anchor Paige Ellenberger as she waits for her arrival. Paige?
Good morning, guys. Yeah, honestly, at this point, it truly is a waiting game. And everybody here at the Bryan Federal Prison Camp has the same question on their mind. When will the former Theranos CEO Elizabeth Holmes start the next 11 years of her life? And while I wait for those answers, let's just bring you through what exactly got us to this point. So if you can remember, Holmes was just 19 years old when she claimed to have revolutionized medical testing, saying with just a prick of a finger, you could receive multiple lab results, cutting both time and money. Now, she founded Theranos after she dropped out of Stanford. Forbes at one point even claiming she was the youngest self-made female billionaire ever. However, after reports came out that she and the company weren't who they said they were, the SEC charged her with fraud. Now, that was all back in 2018. In 2022, she was officially sentenced, and now today, she begins the next 11 years of her life.
No matter what she argues happened, the result is that she's going to be separated from her family, her children, her friends for many, many years. And that may be the highest price a person could pay.
Yeah, this is a minimum security prison here in Bryan, but regardless, this part of her life will be vastly different than anything she's ever experienced. Now, I've been here since about 5 o'clock this morning. Processing does open at 5:30. It closes at 2. That's the very last time Holmes can arrive. I'm going to stick around here and figure out when exactly the former CEO will arrive. Guys.
Paige, thanks for that update. We turn now to the weather this morning. I got a downpour at my house last night.
Yeah. You know what? As much as I complain about the rain, I love it because I get to sleep really well. Didn't even notice.
I know. Josh, any more of that in the picture?
There is a possibility we see a couple of showers this afternoon. I don't think the chances are as high as yesterday, and we're going to actually continue that drying trend as we go through the rest of the work week. Out there right now, no issues. Look at the Clark Roofing Cam and Harker Heights, temperatures in the mid-60s. As we go through the rest of your Tuesday, we'll get into the upper 70s by 10 o'clock, low 80s by noon, late this afternoon into the mid-80s, and that's when we'll have that potential for a couple of spotty showers and thunderstorms. Now, not everyone going to see them, but if you do get under one of these, some gusty winds, some brief heavy rainfall, some lightning will be possible. Otherwise, very warm and muggy day. Temperatures about where they should be this time of year in the mid to upper 80s. Joey, I'm tracking some bigger rain chances for the weekend. Break that down and have a look at that 10-day coming up.
From the Capitol this morning, state lawmakers waking up after a long night at the office. Now, Governor Greg Abbott immediately calling for a special session late last night. On Twitter, the governor says he called for the special session because many critical items still needed to be passed. He says there will be several sessions with only a few items added to each one. Now, the governor says the first special session will focus on property taxes and border security.
This first session comes after several high-priority bills failed to pass. The list includes school vouchers and bail reform. The Senate tried to include vouchers to a House bill dealing with school funding and raises for teachers, that is, and it didn't make it. A constitutional amendment would have denied bail to the suspects in certain violent crimes and human trafficking cases. All those failed in the House.
And a bill waiting for the governor's signature has some local governments fuming. It's known as the Death Star bill, and it aims to limit what city governments can do. The bill claims to set consistent regulations at the state level, but local leaders say it's way too broad.
Local officials have the best interests of their residents at heart, and this bill preempts the city from taking action on a lot of the issues that we hear from residents locally, and ultimately it'll make it so that they have to work through the state on issues that they care about.
25 News reached out to the bill's sponsors, but neither were available for comment.
Right now, the state budget is in the hands of the comptroller's office. Next, it goes to the governor. He has until June 18th to veto any parts of the $321 billion budget. If it's not balanced, it would be another special session to pass a new one. The current budget ends this fall. And it's been almost a year since a man and his 4 grandkids from Centerville were brutally murdered by an escaped cartel killer. The Texas Department of Criminal Justice says Gonzalo Lopez escaped after a systematic failure to prevent another tragedy. The plan for that is the state budget, including more than $4 billion for the department. Nearly $24 million will go towards buying new body cameras for maximum security prisons. The budget also includes a raise for correctional officers.
Texas could be one of the first states in the country to regulate cryptocurrency. A bill now waiting for the governor's signature requires crypto platforms to verify they're maintaining sufficient reserves. This is so customers can access and withdraw their money. It also prevents them from mixing customer money with funds belonging to other providers. The bill is in response to the high-profile collapse of crypto exchange FTX last year. Well, count on 25 News to keep you informed as the Texas legislature begins the first of several special sessions. You can find our complete coverage on all of our digital platforms, including the 25 News app and our website, kxxv.com.
We still don't know when Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton goes on trial for impeachment, but we do know who's going to make the case against him. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, who leads the Senate as president, will be the judge. House Speaker Dave Phelan selecting 12 state reps to the Board of Managers. There are 7 Republicans and 5 Democrats. They'll lay out the case against Paxton and try to prove that he's unfit for office.
I am not aware of any requirement that the accused is required to testify. However, in pursuant to the process of due process in a fair and impartial trial, I do understand that the accused has the opportunity to be there, to have counsel, to participate in the proceedings, to have witnesses raise evidentiary motions and make arguments.
State Senator Brian Birdwell from Granbury will be the chair of the special committee to recommend rules and procedures for that trial. Well, Killeen ISD is a step closer to finding its next superintendent. In 5 minutes, what we're learning about the finalist who's on tap to take charge of the education of 44,000 students.
But first, several school districts across Central Texas are busy getting meals ready for the kiddos. Find out where you can take advantage of a free breakfast and lunch this summer.
And a couple of showers possible this afternoon. Better rain chances this weekend. I'll have a look at that 10-day coming up.